Gonna call this meeting to order. It is Tuesday, February 20th, 7:03 p.m., full city meeting, or full meeting of the City Council. The clerk will call the roll.
Anderson Burgos.
Here.
Bartley. Devine. Here. Givner.
Here.
Graney.
Here.
Jordan.
Here.
McGrath Smith.
Here.
Murphy Romboletti.
Here.
Ocasio.
Here.
Israel Rivera. Jenny Rivera.
Here.
Sullivan.
Here.
Vacan.
Here. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
God bless America and the city of Holyoke.
And the City Council.
And because we do have Councilor McGrath Smith is zooming in, and Councilor Rivera is going to be a few minutes late. Motion to take a roll call vote that for the purposes of this meeting would be applicable to all motions to receive, to refer items to committee, remove items from the table, place items on the table, package items together, comply with items, or suspend the rules unless there is an objection.
So moved.
All those in favor? Aye. Okay. So, public comment. We have a few folks signed up in person. Anyone online? Not that we know of yet. So, Daphne Board, first on the list here, and I'm just going to get out my timer to let you know. Great, thank you. So just state your name and address for the record, and as you know, you have 90 seconds, and at 1 minute, I will let you know. Let's see, I don't think.
Technologically deficient. Thank you. Okay. Daphne Board, 197 Pine Street. I'll try to make it quick. I'm here for agenda item number 2, which would put a reduction of CPA on the ballot. I'm against this. I didn't really care a lot until I watched the last city council meeting and heard a lot of misinformation and manipulation of numbers. And frankly, this brought me right back to the outright lies that were printed on mailers from the No on 5 anti-CPA committee. Back in October 2016, voters were lied to about the automatic exemption of $100,000 in property value that was on the ballot, and they were told there are no automatic exemptions, you must apply every year. This was on the mailer. On their website, towns are told the towns get matching funds from the state CPA coalition, but the state's share drops over the mandatory 5-year period. This is also not true, and yet it's still on the same anti-CPA campaign website, along with the Agenda 21 conspiracy theories and a slam against more low-income housing. 2 weeks ago, a counselor here misrepresented how much we get for CPA and where it actually comes from.
1 minute.
The amount that we collect locally hasn't doubled in 5 years. This counselor took a 2018 local amount only and compared it to last year and said it had doubled because of property values rising, which is not accurate. The state match added a lot to the amount, and we got $220,000 last year from the state. Shouldn't we be happy about this? Shouldn't we be promoting this? Isn't this what we're here in this program for? Why manipulate those numbers?
We're at time.
Do the voters deserve to be lied to? This is my point. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, can I raise a point of order, please?
Sure.
Thank you, Madam. Just so we're clear, what the prior speaker just said is that the law department, who reviews all the ballot questions and writes the ballot questions, lied. Just want to state that for our record.
Okay, and we don't usually respond to public comment, so.
We're not responding.
Okay.
Point of order.
Okay, thank you. Number 2 signed up is Mary Hurley. And again, just state your name and address, and I will start the timer, and I'll let you know when you're at 1 minute. So,
Okay, my name is Mary Hurley. I live at 72 Lower Westfield Road. I am here tonight to discuss an ongoing issue with disposal pickup. It's a violation ordinance. I believe it's section 38. Councilors Vacan and Bartley have been very helpful in trying to get a specific company, I don't want to mention names, to stop violating the ordinance. They are picking up every Monday between the hours of 4 and 4:30 a.m. The ordinance specifically states nothing between the hours of 11 p.m. and 7 a.m. This item was sent to legal, I believe it was twice, meeting on January 2nd. It was a late order filed by Councilor Vacan. And again, 2 weeks ago, February 6th, was sent, and they were supposed to have a response by this evening, proof that they sent this company notification they were violating this ordinance. It is extremely disruptive with the trucks passing through constantly. This started back, the first incident was July 31st, and this is up at Valley Springs, and which is approximately 350 to 400 feet from our residence. So it is very disruptive. It's been going on for months, and I don't understand what the delay is.
And we're at time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Up next, we have Linda Pratt.
Good evening, councilors. Linda Pratt, 39 St. Colby Drive here in Holyoke. At the last full city council meeting, the following statement was made relative to the Community Preservation Act, and this is a quote. When this started, it collected approximately $450,000 a year. Through no change in the percentage, the amount collected has now doubled in that period of time, not because the percentage has increased, but because the values of homes have increased, end quote. Actually, according to the state website, communitypreservation.org, the amount that Holyoke taxpayers contributed to the CPA in 2018 was $497,814. So a good bit more than $450,000. In 2023, that amount rose to $592,314. So this is a difference
1 minute.
of less than $100,000 that can be attributed to rising property values. The additional funding has come from the state. Have our property taxes gone up due to increased values? Absolutely. But the amount collected through the CPA surcharge has in no way doubled. Councilors, if you're going to put this question on the ballot, please be sure that the public has accurate information. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And then online, I believe we have Nathan Chung.
Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Thank you. Nathan Chung, 192 Walnut Street. I recently moved to R4. Was gonna be there in person, but there was some gunshots, so I decided to stay home right before I walked in. So I hope the city figures out some systematic solutions to prevent gunshots rather than trying to react to them after they occur. Anyways, I also want to talk about item 2. If you're gonna put this on the ballot, I know because it's been pushed as a tax saving measure, just please put some actual numbers because the public's not gonna understand the long language, really. I mean, I don't understand it. I have to dig through. But if you just put down some numbers about how much dollars a person is expected to save, that'd be really helpful. I looked at some quick math. Census data, quick fact shows the median home value for Holyoke is $236,800. You do the CPA formula, take away the $100,000 from the price and multiply it by the tax rate and the current surcharge of 1.5%. Our homeowner is expected to pay about
1 minute.
$38 or $39 per year right now. With the reduction, it's gonna be about $26 a year. The the reduction from 1.5% surcharge to 1%. So you're saving about $12 plus some change a year. That's about $1 per month. Can you please put this information on the ballot so people know how much they're saving? You know, if you're gonna frame it just as a 1.5 to 1% drop, yeah, sure, that's not a great saving. But if you frame it as saving
That's
about
time.
$1 a month. Thank you. Just please put that on the ballot. Thanks.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I'm going to raise a point of order again.
Okay.
Because it's incredible to me the rhetoric that goes on here. So it's the law department, and this is, you could clarify this for them. It's the law department that writes the ballot question. It's the law department that puts together the summary. So they could focus their attention on the law department instead of casting aspersions at this body. I mean, these conspiracy theories are lunacy. Call the law department.
Okay, thank you. All right, so I don't see anyone else on public comment. Great. Moving forward, yes, Councilor Devine. Motion to suspend the rules and take up item 8. The motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Give me 1 second. So item number 8 is from Sean Mangiano, Executive Director of Finance, quote, permission for the Superintendent of Schools to submit statements of interest to the Mass School Building Authority for invitation into the Accelerated Repair Program for potential roof replacements at the Holyoke High School, Kelly, Sullivan, McMahon, and Donahue schools. So this evening, we do have
Suspend the rules to allow Whitney Anderson to address the council on this matter.
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
You all seconded, so that's good. Hi, Whitney.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
What we have here tonight is a non-appropriation resolution of which we're seeking from the council to take action this evening in regards to 5 school building authority improvement projects for our schools. The school department acts as your agent in regards to the specific ownership originating here in the city council with the authority before us. And then myself to file statements of interest, in particular to participate and to look forward to invitation into the state program, which has an annual application process. So that is what is before you tonight. We need your approval to file these applications, and then from there, hopefully, we will be invited into the program, at which time we can study any of the total opportunities before us, depending upon what they allow us to be considered, and then the costs, therefore. No cost tonight, just need your approval in order to file the applications.
Can you explain the 5 votes?
There are 5 individual votes. Every job that we attempt to do here has a freestanding authority to be acted on by the school building authority, either in single orientation, if they just happen to choose one vote, or multiples of. So it's ours in our best interest to make as many applications as we can to see if they will be invited into their program. The program was ceased last year, so it wasn't even available for the community to take advantage of. And this is an 80% reimbursement program, so it's a very hefty advantage to the city to take advantage of this opportunity. So the 5 votes are unique to the schools in which I have looked at and determined that based on the age of the components we're speaking of, which is roofing this evening, the Holyoke High School, the Kelly School, the Sullivan School, McMahon School, and the Donahue School are all eligible for this reimbursement. So that's, each one needs a separate vote, and that would allow me to fill out the applications and have them submitted on a timely basis. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Councilor Graney?
Yes, good evening, Whitney.
How are we? Good.
These are ongoing problems in the city for many years, from what I can understand.
Yes.
What percentage from the state would be reimbursable to the city of Holyoke?
These are accelerated repair programs offered by the state, which are specific to, in the past, boilers, which have been omitted this year. They're no longer funding boilers, although we are doing one at the Dean School this summer in particular, which we had approved 1.5 years ago. Windows and doors, exterior doors, and roofs. Those are the 3 programs, all at 80% reimbursement from the state.
Thank you.
It's called the Accelerated Repair Program.
Counselor Sullivan?
Yeah, thanks. Hi, Whitney.
Hi, Mike.
Last night, I had the opportunity to go to the basketball game, and I came down the back stairs of the high school. Is that something that would qualify under one of these? I mean, they're in absolutely deplorable conditions.
Very tough. Yeah, we've this time of year we suffered with the expansion. And you're a construction guy, and the contraction, the ice melt that goes on the surfaces. Repairs are in order for that back staircase down alongside Mackenzie
Yes.
baseball field. Yes, yeah, we've got that on our radar right now.
Okay, but would something like that qualify in these programs also?
No, not as part of the accelerated repair program. In order to do that, what did happen back in 09 to 011 when the high school was renovated?
Yeah.
A portion of that staircase on the upper level was replaced. All of the guardrails were replaced, and just remedial repairs had occurred from the bottom to that intermediate level. So it's in need of attention now.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, smaller projects like that don't qualify. They don't have a program that pick up. We'd have to do a major renovation in the entire facility.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
You bet.
Any other questions, comments? Okay.
Make a motion to suspend the rules and approve all 5 of the requests.
Second?
Under discussion? Any other? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
I think we're going to
Just
need
a
a
roll call?
vote on
Yeah.
Do you need specificity of each name for each roll call?
to the clerk the language?
Yes.
Do I need to read each one? Got
They
it.
are all identical except for the name and the address.
Yeah, maybe just at least read one, right?
Okay. So, resolved, having convened in an open meeting on February 20th, 2024, prior to the SOI submission closing date, the City Council of Holyoke, in accordance with its charter, bylaws, and ordinances, has voted to authorize the superintendent to submit to the Massachusetts School Building Authority the statement of interest form dated February 28th, 2024, for the Holyoke High School,
Kelly School,
Kelly School,
Sullivan
Sullivan School,
Man School.
McMahon School, and Donahue School in Holyoke, which describes and explains the following deficiencies and the prior categories for which an application may be submitted to the Massachusetts School Building Authority in the future. Priority number 5, replacement, renovation, or modernization of school facility systems, such as roofs, windows, boilers, heating, and ventilation systems, to increase energy conservation and decrease energy-related costs in a school facility, and hereby further specifically acknowledges that by submitting this statement of interest form, the Massachusetts School Building Authority in no way guarantees the acceptance or the approval of an application, the awarding of a grant, or any other funding commitment from the Massachusetts School Building Authority, or commits the City of Holyoke to filing an application for funding with the Massachusetts School Building Authority. The clerk will call the roll. If you vote yes, you are voting to approve these 5 votes.
Devine,
Yes.
Givner,
Yes.
Graney,
Yes.
Jordan,
Yes.
McGrath Smith,
Yes.
Murphy Ramboletti,
Yes.
Ocasio,
Yes.
Israel Rivera,
Yes.
Jenny Rivera,
Yes.
Sullivan,
Yes.
Vacan,
Yes.
Anderson Burgos,
Yes.
Bartley.
Yes.
Unanimous
that-
vote.
With that, you've passed it. Thank you,
Thank you so much.
Whitney.
Madam President,
Appreciate it.
Yes.
if we could make a motion to take up item late filed A.
Second.
The building head is here.
Motion has been made and seconded to take up item late file A. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Let me just. So, late file A, introduced by Counselor Devine, ordered that there be and is hereby appropriated by transfer $17,095 as follows from contracted services, building and codes to local inspector. The motion has been made to receive and pass the first reading. Counselor Devine?
Yeah, this is, Kevin from the building department is here tonight if anybody has any questions. But it's a simple transfer. He wants to be able to hire a new local inspector, and he has the funds for this position, and everybody signed off on it. So we'd like to do that tonight if we could.
Okay. Anyone else? Counselor Bacon?
I would just note that we have to suspend our rules to be able to take final action on a late file on the same night.
Okay. So,
I'll make a
Motion to suspend rules.
Second.
motion has been made and seconded
final action.
to take final action on late file A. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Counselor Jordan?
Yeah, briefly, Madam President, under discussion, I'm in support of this, one, because this is budget neutral. I had an opportunity to speak to the department head. It's coming from within his budget. It's also consistent with the salary that was paid to the former occupant of the position. So even into the next fiscal year, it'll be budget neutral. And this position is definitely needed. They want to extend an offer to someone and they can't until we approve this, which is why this is of an emergency nature as opposed to going to committee and coming back. It's going to delay the hiring process. So that's why I'm not normally supportive of these kind of late files like this, but in this case, I think it's a good idea in order to keep the department moving forward.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Bacon?
Thank you. And I'll also be supporting this because I think it's better to be able to bring somebody into the department that will be there on a regular basis than having to rely on an outside contract at this point.
Thank you. Counselor Graney?
Yeah, just a question. Is the $17,000 full salary or is it partial salary?
Just for this fiscal year.
Just for this fiscal year. Okay, thank you.
Any? Counselor Rivera?
Is fiscal year starting from now or the whole fiscal year?
Now.
Oh, okay.
To the end of June.
Any other comments or questions? So the motion is to pass the first reading. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Motion to pass the second reading?
Second.
Motion to pass the second reading. The clerk will call the roll.
Devine,
Yes.
Givner,
Yes.
Graney,
Yes.
Jordan,
Yes.
McGrath Smith,
Yes.
Murphy Ramboletti,
Yes.
Ocasio,
Yes.
Israel Rivera,
Yes.
Jenny Rivera,
Yes.
Sullivan,
Yes.
Bacon,
Yes.
Anderson Burgos,
Yes.
Burley.
Yes.
Unanimous vote.
With that, you have passed the transfer. Thank you, Kevin, for being here.
Yep, take care.
Alrighty,
See you now.
back to our regularly scheduled programming. Okay, laid on the table. Item 1, do you want that to stay laid on the table, Counselor Givner?
Yes, Madam President, we can leave that on the table. I've been in touch with HG&E, and we probably will need to do a poll petition, so
Okay.
we can leave it there.
We'll leave that on the table. Item 2,
Motion to take up item 2 as recommended by a unanimous vote of the Finance Committee, receive and adopt the committee report and put the ballot question on for November 5th as amended.
Second.
And we would, if it passes, we would need to change the date to tonight from the previous date.
Second.
okay. Motion has been made and seconded to take up item 2 and vote. And so under discussion, Counselor Givner?
Thank you, Madam President. I understand that the law department might have some information to weigh in on this. Are they available?
I see.
Yes,
Is there-
good evening, councilors. Thank
Is there a
you
motion to
for,
suspend the
A
rules?
motion to suspend the rules to allow the law
Second.
department to address the council.
Okay, the motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Sorry, go ahead, Attorney Degnan.
That's okay. Good evening, councilors. Yes, as Councilor Bacon said, there was a meeting at Finance, during which time on this CPA question, I indicated that we were concerned about whether or not we had done this correctly the first time, and if not, would there be liability? And I had made some determinations, and I said, no, there isn't liability, so let's go ahead and do it. After I said that, I had questions from other people. And those questions caused me and the other lawyers in our office to see if we could find the actual vote. Reason being is that there was, when I indicated, my first opinion was you have to vote on the reduction, okay, and then you have to vote on the ballot question and vote to put that out onto the ballot. So there's two votes, and I was told that no, we didn't do it that way, and there was some issues with respect to the ballot question, which I actually thought there might have been too. So having said all that, there were a lot of meetings when this council at that time really did a lot. They did a lot of work trying to get this through. And it was through DGNR, and Councilor Bartley did a lot of work at that time to go through because people were confused. But the meetings that I found particularly helpful, and believe me, it's better to look at this stuff than to listen to people or look at old documents. The first meeting was from the DGNR on the 13th. And I watched that meeting, and 23 minutes in, the DGNR approved the 1.5% surcharge. And there was a lot of issues. There was a lot of questions because it had been to council before and then been, sent back. There were a lot of orders going back and forth. People were confused. And at one point, the surcharge said something like, it can't be above 3%. And of course, you can't do that. You have to actually set the rate. So on June 3rd, DGNR approved the
Attorney
1.5
Degnan.
Attorney
which
Degnan,
then went to City Council on January 21st. And the City Council also, they adopted the report from the DGNR, which contained the 1.5%, and it contained the ballot question. So one thing that was answered, one issue was answered. Yes, we did vote on the 1.5% surcharge. That's how it got on the ballot. It was actually approved. The other issue was about the ballot question itself. And it was my understanding that the contained language in the ballot question, it's something to the effect that, without taking a position. And what I did was I actually printed out the ballot question, and I looked and I listened, also at DGNR. And yes, that language was put on, but it was put on in the summary it's not actually in the question itself, it was in the summary. So, and the thing why that's important is because the statute regulates what the ballot question should be. Chapter 44B, Section 3, subparagraph F actually says this is what the ballot question has to be. Then it goes further and says you can put on whether you want to on the summary. It doesn't regulate the content of the summary, which is very important. So having gotten all of this information, I am of the opinion that we did indeed do it right the first time. There was concerns about that we didn't. I have to say I was very concerned, but we did it right the first time. And you really have to do this the same. If you're going to do the surcharge, you have to do it the same way that you did it initially. So it was done correctly. The 1.5 surcharge was voted on, as was the ballot question, and it went onto the ballot. We have to do the same thing here, okay? And this is where I'm going back to what my opinion has been. You have to vote on the surcharge reduction, and then you vote on the ballot question. And by the way, if it keeps that, without taking a position on there, like I said, that's the summary. That's not the actual question. So, we may need to change dates, but that's the process, okay? We actually do have to vote on that reduction. So that's what I found out. A picture is worth 1,000 words. I really feel comfortable after looking at all of those meetings, but the 13th of June and the 21st of June were very eye-opening because there was a lot of discussions about it. There really were. It was argued in March at one point, and then April 4th there was a meeting with DGR, and they said put it up to a 1.5, but I think there were other orders that made it confused. And City Council on the 5th sent it back to DGR. So people are doing their due diligence. There was really a lot of work done here. But the reason why I'm speaking is that I want to indicate that after what I saw, it's my opinion that we did it correctly, and that was a big concern. So we did it right. Now for this ballot question, we have the reduction. We have to vote on the reduction and vote on the ballot question, which is really the vote to put it on the ballot. So, And I don't know if there's gonna, I mean, one thing I saw that there was a lot changing. People were making arguments to change the bill on the floor, the ballot on the floor, which you can certainly do. You have the power to do that. But that's just the process. And now that I feel better that we did it right the first time, yes, we need to do it the way the law says it. So, that's what I come up with. And I appreciate your time in letting me explain what I found. Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Degnan. So is there Councilor Rivera?
Thank you, Attorney Degnan. That kind of is the opposite of what I thought of in the past, but kind of makes sense now that you broke it down that way. Because I was under the understanding that the council never took a vote on, or a position vote on it at all. But now it sounds like they did, but people just don't remember in a sense, right? And right now, we're not necessarily taking the same steps that we took back then, which kind of, in a sense, is not the same process that we took back then. So it's not the same.
Well, it is in terms of the vote.
In terms of the vote, yes.
Yeah.
If we take the 1% surcharge vote, right? But if we don't, right, then we wouldn't be taking the necessary processes that we're supposed to take. All right, thank you. I clearly thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Councilor Devine and then Councilor Jordan.
Thank you, Attorney Degnan. If I understand correctly, we're going to be taking 2 votes tonight, one to reduce the CPA, and then another one for the ballot question itself?
Yeah, and actually what was happening last time too, it was interesting because they had the ballot question in front of them and they had the rate there. So they did it at the same time. They said, yes, we approve the 1.5 and the ballot question is written. And you can do it that way, but you have to vote on that rate. You can't just vote to put it on the ballot. This body has to vote to accept that rate and then accept the ballot question, which you have in front of you. It needs to be cleaned up. I agree with Councilor Bacon, it does. But I think that basically we're for dates. But, excuse me, I just want to be clear that we have to do both. We can't just say we want to put it on the ballot. We have to say, yes, we approve this reduction, and yes, we approve the ballot question, and then it goes on the ballot as such.
And just for people's information, the Finance Committee voted to take it out of committee, but without a recommendation. I also think that, just for my own benefit, originally when the CPA came out, I was against it, but I've seen what great things the CPA has done, so I'm going to be voting no on that 1% reduction. Thank you.
Thank you. So I have Councilor Jordan and then Councilor Bacon
Mm-hmm.
and then Councilor Greeny.
Just one other piece on the process. We took one vote. Maybe there was no 2 votes the time before, just so we're all clear. Might have been all are iterated during one vote, but I recall it being one vote in June of 2016. Second point is I believe council had reviewed what the DOR had approved, and I believe the DOR, who's a pretty meticulous organization, reviewed the paperwork and had approved the ballot question as having been approved once it was adopted. So having said all of that, and then, I'm happy to get into the merits and demerits of the issue. I'll just go over a couple of points. One is we need to, in my opinion, allow the public to vote. This is their government. Bottom line, I voted in 2016 to allow the public to vote on the issue. And I, as a general rule, take the policy that I support allowing the public to vote on what they want. And the public has the right to make their determination what they think is best. If they think, and I don't think it's really too heavily necessary for us to wade in too deep on our personal opinions, because I can say people can have, I've heard great arguments on both sides. Some people feel it's just another tax, and they say, why don't you spend, you've already, in the last 20 years, you've raised my taxes $35 million. Why By the way, for those keeping track, the levy's today 63, and it was in 1999, 28. You can look, people can look that up. That's a fact. These are numbers available in the assessor's office. That's point number one. I don't know, is there somebody else speaking, or maybe I'm hearing an echo? Oh, it's
Everyone.
There's just, maybe it's a steam.
Continue. Councilor Jordan has the
Okay.
floor.
So the point is that people have an opportunity to make these type of determinations. On the other hand, the CPA has done lots of good work, and many noble things have come from the CPA. So you can hear arguments on both sides. The bottom line is that's not for us alone to say, no, public, we're not going to allow you to vote. This is the same point of why those of us that supported it going on the ballot going on 8 years ago, was on the basis that this is the public's choice. And by a narrow, relatively narrow, I think it was like 55-45, voted to approve it. And we have it, and so be it. That's the public's right to have it. And by the same token, they may have a different opinion today. A couple other statistics I would go over. One is the amount collected has nearly, if not completely, doubled, okay, since the original amount collected. So that's a fact, that's accurate. Number two is, it didn't say it was exclusively through property taxes, as I recall, that it went up, but it went up through taxes, okay? Now, interestingly enough, 100,000 of it apparently is just in Holyoke tax. Just let's remember, any of this money that we get in added CPA money from the state, they don't have a printing press in Boston. That money is coming. By the way, just as a news flash for some, government has no money other than that which it takes from the citizens. Okay, let's just all be clear. It comes in one form of taxes or another, be it recording fees, added recording fees, which I believe largely subsidizes this, or state income tax or sales tax. State government has no money other than taxes that it receives. So when the amount collected, and if this were to be reduced, it would reduce it down to an amount comparable to how much it was originally taken. That was how much it was envisioned. And by the way, it should be noted that the Holyoke Mall was listed in a lot of the advertisements at the time as being the largest, was going to be the largest payer. And of course, their assessment has come down dramatically since that time. So more of this has the potential to be shifted to residents. But the point is, that is a debate for the citizens to have, to get materials, to get educated, and let them walk into the booth and pick what decision is best for them and their family. And they can decide, we keep it, we don't keep it. But we should allow them to vote on this tonight. And so I'm happy if that's what it takes to say that we support the 1% subject to the vote of the public. I believe we can, in the summary, continue to keep a language that says without taking a position. I'll ask the law department, but I believe the summary language can continue to say that. I think Kathy's nodding her head yes.
Yes, I believe you can. It was what was done the first time, and it's not regulated by the statute, just the ballot question is, so
Okay.
yes.
So I would argue that we should keep the same language. We're on record of not having taken a position on it officially. This is a procedural step, because without this step, the citizens cannot be allowed to vote. And they should be allowed to vote. So, Madam President, I think for all those reasons, we should continue to allow the citizens to be in control of their own government. And this was designed in this statute to allow the public to vote. This is the process, and this is the process we should follow, and not deprive them of that right. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Bacon.
Thank you. So through the chair to Attorney Dagnan, is the language that we have before us tonight, other than the date, correct?
All right, yeah.
The table language?
Like Councilor Jordan just said, we can keep in that language in the summary, because it's just the summary. And the ballot question, actual question, I'm looking at it, and it's just, I'm gonna say this is what we have here. Shall the city of Holyoke amend the current CPA real estate surcharge as established in accordance with the provisions of section 3 of chapter 44B of the Massachusetts General Laws, and which amendment is of such surcharge is permissible pursuant to section 16, which is correct, of chapter 44, and approved by legislative body from 1% to 1.5 to 1%, a summary of which appears below. That's what we did the last time. We didn't mention section 16, but what we had was the question as it appears in the statute, and then we had the summary. So, I think this is okay.
This is
I just
correct.
think you need to have the
Okay.
vote.
All right, I just wanted to verify that what we've been talking about all along is the same thing.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I just wanted to make sure, and I apologize, I just wanted to make sure, when I spoke at finance, that we didn't have any liability.
Right.
And now that I see that we did it right, we don't. And, you know, we need to do it the way we did it the first time.
Okay,
So,
okay. So I just want to be clear that what we have before us that we looked at 2 weeks ago does not need to be changed. It is correct.
right, you just have to make sure you vote for, you have to make sure you vote for the reduction. That's the issue, not just to vote to put it on the ballot. You understand what I mean?
Well, that's what we did the first time. We voted for the rate
Yes.
by voting on the rate and the question.
Yeah, it was done together, which is fine as long as it's clear that we're voting for the rate. And that is what they did, because there were two pieces, as I recall, about, if you go to, in the council meeting, June 21st, about two hours in, there was this discussion. And it was really, the DGR, voted and sent forth a report which contained the ballot question and the rate. And what happened was, we adopted the rate, because we adopted the report.
The whole
So what you
thing.
did was, you did both. You did both.
And so that's what we're looking to do here with the 1% rate, which was a compromise that was worked out between the Finance Committee last year and presented to council. So this is now being the same thing presented this year after the mayor vetoed it because he objected to the timing of the vote, but he has indicated subsequently and again this year that if the council puts it on the ballot, he will let it proceed to the ballot, and that he agrees that the voters will be able to vote on it. So I think we're exactly where we were. None of us have said we have to take a position on it. And the compromise was, instead of it going from 1.5 to 0.5, and came out of committee last year at 1, was the compromise that's similar to the history that you're relating to us in the initial vote. But that's the history on this particular vote. So I think we're all saying the same thing, that it would be changing it from 1.5 to 1, and we're not taking a position as a city council on it. However we take the vote. But I would say, for folks that are new returning to the council, on this matter, we have had a petition, a citywide petition by, I can't remember the exact total, but I want to say it was well over 50 and maybe over 100 citizens who want to see this come on the ballot. We have had citizens come into the public hearing repeatedly on Zoom and in person, asking us to let them vote on this. And the Taxpayers Association, who represents the businesses in the city, as we're saying we want to be friendlier to them, they're hurting, as are the everyday homeowners, and they're also seeking us to let the people vote on it. And so we're here representing our various areas, some of us the whole city, some of us specific wards. And I think it would be really taking ourselves too much power into our own hands to take this away from the voters. So I hope we will move this to the mayor, who's agreed to move it to the ballot. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Graney.
Yeah, generally, I got some facts. I have information, about the CPA, the projects from 218 to 223, the historic preservation projects, the open space projects, the recreation projects, the affordable housing projects. This could all be made public for the public to see so that they will be well informed about this. And I also have a breakdown by ward of all the different projects that have taken in wards 1 through ward 7. And I also have the financial records from the auditor today, the total revenues of the CPA to date. CPA funding 2018 to 2024, 4.4 million, 4,417,923. Total expenses 2,798,040. Total authorized grants 3,369,979, and reserved for expenditures 571,939, leaving an available cash of $1,047,944. So the CPA right now, as it stands, has $1,047,944 in their coffers. Thank you.
Thank you,
And I
Councilor.
support putting this on the ballot so the people can get all this information and they can vote on it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Anderson Burgos.
Thank you, Madam President. So, Attorney Degnan, I just want to make sure, because it's confusing here. There's the talk about the ballot question and then the rate change. Before us, this item on the agenda, item number 2, has 2 parts of it. So are you saying that it's okay for us to take one vote on, so one that we're putting it on the ballot and that it includes also the rate change within that one vote?
No, because that really isn't, because this went to DGNR before it was taken up in subcommittee. The 1.5 was actually voted on, and that rate was voted on by the city council. Then they voted on the ballot question.
Okay.
They just happened, they had 2 different documents, but they took them together. But this is the thing, you have to, when you take a vote, you have to take a vote saying that yes, take a vote on the reduction of the rate. You have to do that. You can't just vote on the ballot question, okay? You have to take yes, I vote to reduce, to the reduction, and then I approve the ballot question. That's how it works.
Right, so you're saying that sounds to me is 2 votes. You're saying that I'm taking both. I want to put this on the ballot and I agree with the rate change. That's 2 votes on one item on this agenda.
Well, and that is what happened the last time. They had 2 reports the last time, and they took both reports up, and then they accepted that 2 reports.
Right, but legally,
Okay.
what are we required to do? Are we required as a body to vote one vote on for the ballot question, to put it on the ballot, and then the other one for the rate change? Are we supposed to be voting on 2 different items in this body
to.
today? Because
you have to.
this is one order.
No, that's okay. You have, because there's two issues on this ballot question, okay? The reductions in the ballot question. But you have to, this body has to take a vote on the reduction, okay? You have to do that. Then you have to take a vote on the ballot question, which contains the rate reduction, I admit it. But you have to accept that. You have to do that, just like they did before. They accepted the 1.5. And there's a lot of discussion about that too at DGR. But they did it. So I'm hoping I'm answering
And
your
that's
question.
that's what I know, and it's confusing because what it sounds like they did it, but did they do it correctly?
I think they did.
I
think they did.
I don't like the I think part. I need to know
I'm
because
sorry,
if
they did, Counselor.
Okay.
They did. Because all the law requires, okay, is that the city council, the legislative body,
Yeah.
when you accept the statute, you set the surcharge. This legislative body in 2016 accepted the CPA by setting the rate, okay? So they approved the rate. And then they also approved the ballot question. I think what might be more confusing here is that the statute's already been accepted, okay? We're not voting to accept it again. It's already been accepted. We're just moving to amend it. So you have to take a vote, absolutely. I have no doubt in this. You have to take a vote to reduce the rate. You have to agree, you have to do that, and then vote to put it on the ballot. And they did do it right the last time.
Thank you. Thank you. That's what I wanted to know, that for sure. And thank you for all your work you've done into this. I also want to, state that I made a promise that I would vote yes to put it in this term, on the ballot. I made that promise, and I will keep my promise. But, comments are made. Our constituents, the residents of Holyoke, deserve to vote on this. I also agree on that. They should vote on this. Absolutely. It's their money. What I don't agree with are some of the comments or how misinformation. Now, this is not to you, Attorney Degnan. You're off the hook. I'm just putting this for public record. So what I don't agree with is the fact that, and I know for sure, and it's okay, that some of the counselors belong to the group Let's Keep Affordable Holyoke when they send out flyers that have false information, because as you already see and have witnessed, that a lot of the counselors here are confused about how this should go down. And so what I can't stand for is when they write CPA equals tax increase. That's true. And let's face it, by the way, since I'm here, 1999 taxes to today's taxes are totally different. That's inflation, that's life, that's just, it's the nature of the beast. And I'm okay with that. So CPA equals tax increase. Again, yes. Vote no on question 5. And this is what this flyer says. No new taxes. Enough is enough. Community Preservation Act equals tax increase. No new taxes. It keeps repeating that. Similar to something else. Anyways, the CPA is a tax on homeowners. Again, they mention it. The CPA is bad for business. The CPA requires funding for more low-income housing, which sounds very similar to a comment a counselor made at the luncheon for the Taxpayers Association in regard to Section 8 and so on and so forth. Okay? So, and then it says, Holyoke has done its fair share already. There are no automatic exemptions. You must apply every year. This is a flat out lie. So if you're going to stick to a group like Keep Holyoke Affordable and you want to keep your integrity, then don't side with this group that keeps feeding lies. Okay, feeding lies to the residents of this community and getting them up in a roar, arguing, no more taxes, no more taxes. Can I tell you something? When I saw the CPA, I will admit, I voted yes, let's have this done. I was nervous. I was like, oh God, can I afford it? I honestly, and I didn't see a big, huge difference. I did not see a huge difference. And if some of the money that I am willing, okay, and by means, I am not rich, I don't have money, I barely make enough, okay? But if I'm willing to contribute to this community because I love it that much, I don't understand why people have a big issue about CPA. And yes, there are some circumstances where people might. But to say that you're going to save a ton of money, what is it? $38 a year? And on top of that, with all these false information going out, you're spending more energy on damaging something that would potentially benefit the community as a whole. Spend your time trying to build this community. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. I have Counselor McGrath Smith.
Thank you, Madam President. So again, for clarity, and this is through the chair to Solicitor Degnan, it says in the summary of the question that we'd be voting on tonight, this is just the first line there, October 3rd, 2023, the city council voted without taking a position to place a question on the ballot. If we have to have two votes tonight, and the first one is to accept the rate, and then the second one is to put it on the ballot, isn't
dates are
it
gonna
then
change.
us taking a position? Yes, I
Well,
know the
no,
dates would have to change,
dates
but
change.
I just mean in the clause there, without taking a position. But if
Yeah.
we're voting first to accept the rate and then to accept the ballot, aren't we taking a position?
Well, that's how we did it the last time. And I think that's what caused the confusion. But the DOR did not say you can't do that. And I understand your question. It kind of sounds, it sounds like it's lacking in logic. I mean, I understand what you're saying. But, I mean, it's okay because the summary provision is not set in stone by the statute, and it's not. The only thing that is what the question has to look like. The summary, the city council, they can put things in there. And I watched these meetings, and there's a lot of discussion about that. But they agreed to do the without taking a position. It doesn't, it was right. I mean, it was right. I mean, not the language. It didn't hurt our position. Let's put it that way. Legally, we accepted the 1.5. We accepted the statute when we accepted the 1.5 rate, and then we voted the ballot question. So no, I think I'm not pushing to have that taken out because that's what we did the first time. And as far as I'm concerned, it was the correct thing. I mean, do I like it being in there? Well, and I haven't seen any other municipalities put that in there. But we've had no one from DOR to say it's wrong, and the statute doesn't say it's wrong. So as long as we change the dates, we can leave that in there. What I can tell you, Councilor Rath-Smith, is that when this was first happening, there was a lot of confusion, and there were a lot of people who said they didn't want it because they thought the citizens should vote and the city council should not do it. Then other people liked the idea because they liked the revenue stream and what they could do for historic buildings and things like that. So it kind of there was a lot of discussion about it, but the former solicitor put that language in there, and because the councilor asked her to do it, she did it, and they voted on it. So I don't think that's going to invalidate our vote.
Councilor McGrath, are you good?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Councilor Devine?
Just a quick question. What if we vote the 1% down? What if it's a no vote? What happens then?
Is that for the law department?
Attorney Degnan.
Oh, I'm sorry. If here we're taking the vote tonight that we're not going to accept the reduction, then nothing happens. I mean, it doesn't get on the ballot because to get it on the ballot, this body has to adopt the surcharge. In this case, it's a reduction, and they have to adopt a question on the ballot. So if the answer is no, if folks vote no, then it's not going to happen. If people vote yes, that's the only way to get it on the ballot, basically.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Graney?
Yeah, once again, I want to try to take a motion out of this question. This is a business question basically for the citizens and the taxpayers of Holyoke. This information is free and clear. The CPA committee has all this information. The residents should have all this information. Why don't we move on and either vote it up or vote it down? Let the citizens vote on it and see what they want to do. I mean, it's their business, it's their money, and it makes sense to let it happen. But emotionally, one way or the other, it's not going to affect us on the council, but it may affect the taxpayers. And there are some people out there who probably can't afford it, et cetera, et cetera. But we should be emotionless about it, put the facts out there, and vote on it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Jordan?
Yeah, thank you, Madam President. First thing I'd like to say is I like this all in one motion. We make it. This adoption of the 1% piece is just a procedural vote in order to allow the ballot question. This is the way you're approving it, but it's subject to the public has to vote for it at the public referendum. So we can't increase this or decrease this without their approval. But it's a necessary step in order to allow the ballot question to go on. But to balance that so that there's no lack of clarity that we are neutral on the issue, okay? That's why the importance of that language without taking a position. So I think people can have the comfortability of saying you're making this step without you personally taking a position tonight for it or against it, which is my position. I'm not for it or against it. I'm for allowing the public to vote. And this is the system that was set up by the statute that's been well articulated by Kathy. So that's what I would advocate for. Just one other point though. Again, people talk about clearing up misinformation. I was at the Housing Authority luncheon the other day, and to my knowledge, there were 6 counselors there, okay? Okay, there were 6 counselors there, but of the 6 that were there, the former speaker was not one of them, to my knowledge, and I heard none of the 6 say anything disparaging about the Housing Authority. In fact, I heard all the counselors were extremely complimentary of the Housing Authority. Counselor Devine, I believe you were there too. Was very complimentary.
Absolutely, I was complimentary.
Yeah, no, I know you were. Yeah.
So I don't know what that has to do with anything, but go ahead.
No, I'm just pointing out that you were in the room.
Thank you.
Of the 6 counselors that were present, everyone was very complimentary of the Housing Authority, the mission, affordable housing, the whole 9. I think there was one question, I know at one point I had asked, are we getting our fair share of Section 8 vouchers? Matt was excellent to answer yes, that they had enough, which was good. But I didn't hear anything negative. So I don't know, maybe we'll have to take it offline together with my colleague. But I heard nothing negative about affordable housing or what the Housing Authority's mission was there. So nevertheless, I wanted to clear up that point.
Thank you. Councilor Rivera.
Thank you. So I was confused, then I wasn't confused, and then I was confused again. I'm trying to understand here, right, where we have a position where we're saying that they didn't take 2 votes, but they were in DGR and they hashed it out, and through DGR it came to the full council, and we voted for it to go on the ballot. But I don't ever remember hearing that the full council voted for what the rate was supposed to get at, 1.5, 2.0.
It's on the paper.
So they did that in full council, or they did that at DGR, or did they do that at 2 and 1 vote?
DGR set the rate, and the full council adopted the rate that was set by DGR.
So that's the part that I'm confused about. How can DGR set a rate on its own?
Well, no, but
it's not full council.
Had to adopt it. Okay, they could have said no. I mean, remember, because you need a majority vote. There could have been a vote that said no, we don't accept this, and that would mean they would not be accepting the rate or the ballot question. Okay, but they didn't do that. They actually voted to approve the rate and to approve the ballot question the way it was written. And that's
you're saying
the
that
strange
it was
language.
So you're saying that the voting for the rate was taken in a committee and not at full council?
Well, no, it went when the committee report went, that rate was there, and they voted to accept the full council voted to accept that rate.
And put it on the ballot at the same time with the same rate. So you took 2 votes with one vote.
Well, I suppose if I go back, I think the way they had it written, it was put forward that yes, we accept the 1.5 and yes, we accept the ballot question as written. They didn't separate it out, but they did the same thing. In this instance, it's a little different. And that, we're not actually looking to accept the statute because we already did it. All we're trying to do is reduce the rate. So if we're talking right now, what we would do, there'd be a motion. Do we agree before this body to agree to reduce the rate from 1.5 to
1.5%? So what I'm asking is, was that done at the last time? Because it sounds like that wasn't done. It sounds like it was two things in one, and now you're saying that we do two separate things in a
Well,
sense, right?
because, I mean,
And I agree with you. I'm not against it. It's just that it sounds like in the past it was done in one way, and right now we're kind of doing it similar but a little different because
Well,
just
it
to
was
be sure.
clear, though, is Councilor Rivera, it was clear. What I was concerned about is just like, oh, well, let's take a vote to put this on the ballot. Okay, we'll vote to put this on the ballot. We can't do that. You can't just vote to put it on the ballot, okay? And actually, because they had a report that had that set the rate and had the ballot question in front of them, when they did this, they did it all the same kit and caboodle, okay? They did it all. Now, so we did this right. That's correct. The ballot question is right. They voted for the rate. Here, I mean, I suppose if it's the two votes you're worried about.
So
I mean, I
no,
just
it's
wanna
not. It's so I guess for me, right? Because I continue to refer to smoke and mirrors, right? There's a lot of people that they try to throw different numbers, they try to throw data, and all this other stuff, but they leave out certain facts that kind of validify data, right, or research, like. So for me, it's like trying to navigate what is real, right, from what is smoke and what could be a mirror, right? Because we have people talking about certain statistics without actually including all of the statistics, right? And when you look at research, you're supposed to look at the positive and the negative so that you can actually see the real story of what things are going on. When we hear people reciting data here, you don't hear both sides of the coin when they're recited. You only hear the one side of the coin, and it's always to try to push out a narrative or rhetoric of some sorts, right? So for me, right, we have a council, and we even have some employees through the city that got confused in a moment, if we must admit for all of us, right, due to particular individuals that may know certain things and may feel like they know certain things and pushing things in certain directions, right? So here, it's not about whether or not certain counselors want the public to vote or not, because I believe we are all on that same page. For me, it's about process and whether or not we're doing the right process. I ran on the platform on trying to do things the right way, not because I feel like it should be done this way, not because I've been here for 15 to 20 years and I think I know I've been doing it the right way, but because I want to find out what is the right way. This is why I asked for Kathy Degnan to come in and have the questions. This is why I got it, thanks to Councilor Bartley, it was able to be tabled for us to have more questions so that we can hash out the process. Because it's been very long time that we do things in ways that in the long run, we end up becoming liable for a variety of different things. So for me, I'm sorry that if I am trying to make sure that we don't become liable for something later on down the road because of what was done in the past. So ultimately, I'm just asking questions to try to clarify this and bring this to the public so that the public is aware of what's happening. Thank you for all the details and the data, but let's be sure to put all the data out, not just bits and pieces. Thank you again.
Thank you. So I'm going to call on Councilor Sullivan first. He hasn't spoken yet, and then Councilor McGrath-Smith.
Okay, so question for Councilor Degnan, just after listening to this for
It's been 43 minutes. I'm timing.
Once again, just so we're all clear on it, what was done the first time was done correctly, right?
Yes.
Okay. Hope that just clears all the fog right now. All right, what was done the first time was done correctly. As far as setting a rate, all right, I was on the committee at the time. We had a choice what to put forward to the public. It ranged from 0.5% to 3%. We picked something in the middle. We had public hearings on it. We had presentations on it. In-depth study of at 3%, we would get more money from the state. At below a certain percent, we wouldn't get anything from the state. At 1.5%, we got a fair amount from the state. And that's what was voted on, and that was sent forward. There was no smoke and mirrors, and everything was done correctly. I was against it. It passed, and I'm now an advocate for it. So I hope that cuts through some of the fog. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor McGrath-Smith.
Listening to a number of points today, including Solicitor Degnan's point that what is in the summary is up to us, I wonder if the body would be interested in amending the language to allow more clarity in terms of the outcome of the vote, especially because a number of folks have named the outcome is connected to taxation. Would it make sense to include language that would name for the voter what the outcome would be? That in 2023, the average single-family home paid $38.34. A reduction from 1.5% to 1% would save the average single-family homeowner, based on that average value, $12.78. Taken up to, we could give a second example. If your home is worth $472,000, that means that a yes vote means you would save $25.56 in taxes this year.
Was that a motion or?
Make a motion to take a vote on the
Well, I just want to make
reduction.
sure if it's a clarifying question for the law department. I'm just not sure.
Yeah, was that question to me?
You had said earlier that we have control over what the summary says. If that's the case, then I think that we should amend the language to make it more clear to the taxpayer what they are in fact voting for.
If we have that information, I'm not saying that you can't do it. You know, what we really have to indicate in our summary, which is what we did the last time, we have to indicate what the rate's going to be, what exemptions are going to be, if there are any, who it applies to. And we did that. And that's pretty much all that is required, because we did a lot of exemptions. But to put in there, I guess you want some language about how the rate. You mean if we reduce the rate, Megan? Is that what you mean? So if we reduce the rate, we want to know what the effect would be on the taxpayers?
That is the goal of this reduction. The goal of putting this on the ballot is to give people the option to see if they want to lower their taxes. I think it makes sense that they would understand what they're voting for, and not just by rate. A lot of folks look at the 1.5% and they're not exactly sure what that means or how much money that is.
Well, I guess we'd have to look at, we want accurate information. I'm not sure where we would locate that, unless there's someone on this body that.
I got the information from the assessor on the collector's office.
Okay.
This was for the report that I created for the city council for 22-23 for the 5-year overview of CPA.
How long is this piece that you want to put in there?
I think it was the language that I said.
No, I mean in terms of the ballot question. I guess you're suggesting that this information goes at the end of the ballot summary.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously we say, you know, if yes means you vote on the reduction, so it's 1%. If it doesn't pass, if it's no, we don't want to do it, you know, then it stays the same. So I think that's clear. I haven't, you know, I have not gotten any question like this before, and the statute doesn't address it. I guess I would like to look to see what you have before saying, yes, let's put it on there. I don't think we can put it on there tonight because I don't know what it is you want. I haven't seen what it is you want to put on. But if you could give that to me and to other members of the council, if they don't already have it, because they're going to want to look at it too. So I suppose we could, if you give me the material, and the other councilors, if they have the material, you'd all have to vote on it, obviously, and that's part of the voting on the ballot question. Maybe we could. Maybe we could. I'm just sorry I can't answer that question tonight, right now, because I don't have it in front of me.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Councilor Bacon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think we're getting pretty far afield here, and I think if we start trying to put in examples for the homeowners, then we're going to need to put in examples for the business owners who are actually more greatly affected economically in general by CPA. And I really think each one of us as counselors can get the information that Counselor Greenie has brought tonight, and we all have access to all of the information from CPA. I'm sure the chair, Meg, our counselor, would share that. And, you know, if we're going to put in how much the people would save, then we should probably fairly put in the status of the CPA account itself, how much money is in it and how it will be affected, because that's the direct result of the taxes. So I really think it's pretty clear. I think I have faith in our voters that they can figure out the effect that it will have for them on their taxes. And I think we have spent a great deal of time and shared a great deal of information, albeit we may have different opinions about how information has been expressed 5 and 6 and 7 years ago. But I think we just need to deal with the here and now. And I hope this body will move this question forward. It's been vetted up and down, and we can all make our arguments for and against it. But I don't think those arguments should be made in the question. I think our city attorney has accurately explained to us that the summary is to provide the information. It's not to make the argument for or against. And so I think we need to be careful about that, and we're all fully able to share the information with our various constituents. So I would like to say on the motion and have us take a vote tonight.
Okay. On the motion,
Second.
under discussion, I mean, well, we just did that.
Please.
Please, no more.
No.
You withdraw that.
Time for a vote.
Just under a point of order, one vote
Yes,
or
Council.
2 votes?
That's literally, that's all I
Just
I
to
just
be
don't
sure.
know.
Okay.
Yes.
I believe
Just saying.
Let
This
Attorney
is what I'm going to
Degnan
suggest.
say.
This is what I'm going to suggest, guys. What you should do is you're going to take a vote on the motion to accept the reduction from 1.5 to 1%. You have to make that motion.
I make a motion that we accept the reduction to 1% and adopt this language in the ballot question
That says without taking a position.
without taking a position and putting this on the ballot.
Second.
Excuse me, point of order.
Yeah.
Isn't that one whole question instead of two? One should be to take a vote on the percentage and then vote on the ballot question. Because if that percentage vote fails, it fails.
So that's where I'm also getting confused. I'm hearing Attorney Degnan say no, but like I also
Is
heard
our
you.
motion in order would be the question.
I had a motion before as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Here a second.
All right. Let me see what Councilor Jordan is suggesting. He's voting on the rate. Okay, and that was my big concern.
That's
I
right.
was afraid. Yeah, I was afraid that what we're going to be doing is voting to put it on the ballot, proving the ballot question, put it on the ballot. No, we can't do that. We have to vote to accept the rate and then accept the ballot question and put it on the ballot. That's 2 things. Now, as long as you're voting on those 2 things, okay, as Councilor Jordan said, well, we were going to make a motion to vote to reduce the rate. Okay, that's the first thing. And then, in that same breath, he's saying we're also voting to accept the ballot question. You're hitting both issues, okay? So I know I've been saying 2 votes because I want to make sure that you get both issues.
Okay.
But
Right.
if you get them both in one vote, then, you voted on the rate and you voted on the ballot question.
Okay.
Does that help?
Perfectly.
And I seconded it.
Okay, but there was a motion
To vote
prior
on
to
the-
that.
There was a motion to vote on the rate. And then, depending on what happens there, as Counselor Degnan said, then we go to the, put it on the ballot. But I think the most important thing is definitely the rate, the vote on the rate.
Okay, Counselor Greenie.
Yeah, I think if we vote on the rate, we are then taking a position.
Right.
So,
That's what's been said.
And the object is not for us to take a position. Yeah, what we're supposed
Point of order,
to do
Madam
is-
President.
Yes.
To the extent Counselor Devine did make a motion, it was never seconded, so that poof turns into the wind. And our motion was made and seconded and recognized by the chair. So that is with all due respect, is to all involved, is the current motion on the floor.
So I still don't, I guess, I still don't understand if it's one vote or two.
Well,
but-
it's one because
Okay.
that was the question, Madam President. As long as we hit both elements, that we're making a motion to reduce to one and pass this ballot question stating without taking a position, because that is the statutory procedural step. She's pointing out accurately to us to do these two elements. Both elements are in the motion. And that was it. So we're doing exactly what Kathy just said.
The reason why we're so confused.
Whoa.
Sorry, I
Let's
know.
hold up. Everyone's got their hands up. Everyone's got an opinion, and it really doesn't seem like anyone can agree on even if we should vote on this. So hold that thought. Counselor Bacon.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
For the fourth time.
So.
Okay, so, all right, hold on. Guys, I'm running this meeting, so thank you. All right, Counselor Bacon is speaking for a fourth time on this issue. Do I hear a motion?
We already have our motion, Madam President.
Oh, y'all are killing me tonight.
To
Okay.
allow her to speak for a fourth time.
To allow her to speak for the fourth time.
All I wanted to do was ask Attorney Degnan if our motion is in order, because I already
just
thought I
spoke.
heard her say yes. That's all.
Yeah, I think it's what's getting questioned, and maybe that's partly when I'm talking about taking two votes, is because you need to do two things. You need to do the rate and you need the ballot question. So that looks like it's two votes. But as long as you keep both elements and you vote on both elements, you can vote on them at the same time or you can separate them, but you have to vote on both elements. Okay, so I apologize when I said two votes if that confused anybody. I only said that because I want to make sure everyone knew that they had to vote on the rate and then they had to vote on the ballot question.
So it
But
was
you
really
can
just
do
a
it
point
in
of
one.
order.
You can do it in one. Say you can say, look, I want a motion to accept the rate reduction 1.5 to 1% and to approve of the ballot question.
And that is our
You've done it
motion.
both.
That is our motion.
Okay, so the motion was made and seconded to vote on the reduction from 1.5 to 1 and
The ballot question.
The ballot,
question.
With the only difference being the change from October 3rd, 2023 to February 20th, 2024.
Okay, and just to be clear, we need a majority vote.
That's right.
Okay. And we have to change the date of the election. It should be November 5th.
That's right.
Which we had done, I thought, previously, but we should do it again just to be sure.
Yeah, none of my copies, so that's good. Okay. All right, the clerk will call the roll if you are voting yes. Oh, sorry. There's a question. Carmen Ocasio, or Councilor Ocasio, sorry.
Okay, so I got a big headache.
Oh, just make sure your microphone's on.
Yep, I just got a big headache over this. So, okay, let me see if I understand this correctly. Okay, so if I say yes on, I mean, not yes on either or the 1.5 or the 1.0, but put it on the ballot question, can I do that? Or do I have to like pick one of those?
No, it's all one vote.
Altogether.
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 All right, okay.
So yes is to do it, no is to not do it.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
Thank you.
So with that, I'm sorry, did you have a question, Councilor Rivera?
It's more like a point of order. Like, it doesn't make sense that you guys can suggest one thing from one side of the council and then we all have to agree to it. I thought this was a democracy. We would have that conversation on how we want to present, because we can also suggest to take the two votes and it would make sense too to Kathy Degnan. But instead, because one councilor is pushing hard about one suggestion, she's going to agree to that suggestion too as well.
Is that a point of order, Madam
it's-
President?
excuse
I don't hear
me.
any rule
Ex-
violation in the-
Guys,
Who
we
you
really-
are, bro? I'm just saying.
That was anticlimactic.
We need
Please
to
stop.
get out.
Everyone, please stop. Listen, we are all adults here. This is crazy. We have a vote. You all can vote however you want to vote tonight. And, you know, there was a motion that was made and seconded. That is what I'm going based off of. I understand let's go. The clerk will call the roll. Thank you.
Divine.
No.
Givner.
No.
Graney.
Yes.
Jordan.
Yes.
McGrath Smith.
No.
Murphy Ramboletti.
No.
Ocasio.
Yes.
Israel Rivera.
No.
Jenny Rivera.
No.
Sullivan.
Yes.
Vacan.
Yes.
Anderson Burgos.
No.
And Barley.
Yes.
Six yeas, 7 nays.
With that, it did not pass.
Motion to reconsider our action on this and table.
Second that. I want this to get on the ballot. I want to be clear.
Motion has been made. Motion has been made and seconded.
Debatable.
Okay. Not
Reconsider.
debatable. It's going to be laid on the table. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Motion to table.
That is.
I think we did it all in
wasn't
one, right?
motion.
You can do it, I don't, well,
Can we put them
You
all
just
both in
did
the
it.
same vote?
I don't think you can, Kev, but it's all right.
That's
Whatever.
okay. Motion to table.
Okay.
Madam, a point of order?
So,
Councilor Graney,
Isn't democracy to allow the people to vote?
is that a point of order?
Well, it was 7-6.
So, okay. That has now been laid on the table, and
We're
Do we
moving
vote-
on.
do we vote on, I think we motioned to reconsider. Now the motion, I
we
made a
need a
motion to
separate
table.
vote?
And a
Okay.
second.
okay.
we need another.
A roll call vote.
No, no.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Yeah.
So moved.
All right.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, good job. Okay. can we
Exactly 1 hour. Awesome.
Can we take up agenda item 3, please, and then suspend our rules and reappoint Gladys to the authority?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to reappoint Gladys LeBron Martinez as a commissioner of the Holyoke Housing Authority for the city of Holyoke. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Under discussion.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
You're fine.
Yeah.
You're doing it right. I'm just only saying, so we suspending our rules, and we did that, and then so now we're reappointed. So that's all one fluid thing. You just call the vote.
Great.
I think we don't have to do a roll call on this, so we just do it on voice vote, okay? So you're
Okay.
good.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Great. Thank you.
You got it. I'll take, well, I mean, I think, let's see, can we take 4 and 7 as a package? I don't know what, and suspend the rules, take 4 and 7 as a package, and motion to receive, please.
Second.
Motion to
Motion
adopt
has-
number 4, too, not just receive. We have to adopt our minutes, not just receive our own minutes, just for the record.
So the motion was made to receive and adopt
4, and then receive.
4 and 7. And so 4 is the minutes from the February 6th meeting. Any additions, corrections, anything? And then item 7 is the minutes from the HEDIC meeting on December 12th. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? So moved.
Item 5, could we take that up and receive and send to ordinance?
So moved.
So the motion has been made and seconded to take up item 5 from Attorney Mantaleski, Assistant City Solicitor, approval of zoning amendment, send to ordinance.
Second, yep.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So moved. And item 6 is communication from Attorney Mantaleski regarding the $300,000 transfer.
Incentive finance.
Receive and send to finance. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
I'd like to suspend the rules and take up committee report under finance for the 300 grand here. Let's see, what item is that? Number 16? That's relative to this item, number 6.
Second.
So the motion has been made and seconded to take up item 16. And this is the Committee on Finance, to whom the order was referred, that there hereby be appropriated a transfer in the fiscal year 2024 for $300,000 from city stabilization to claims and damages. This order says recommend that the order be denied. Counselor Devine?
Again, I'm not going to say what happened at the meeting the other night, but when I got home after that vote, I just felt that it was wrong. I haven't been on the council in a long time, but to say that you can take something out of a subcommittee and vote on it is wrong. And I think that Attorney Monteleschi's letter says that specifically. So what I'd like to do with this is give it a motion to table, send it back to committee, have attorney come in, and let's talk about it again.
Counselor Jordan, and then Counselor Sullivan.
Yeah, thank you, Madam President. A couple of things. The only thing that occurred that was wrong at Finance is the fact that we're not following Rule 4D. And the Rule 4D is crystal clear. When you have tabled items in your committee, you're required to publish them on the agenda. And when you fail to follow the rules and then get concerned about the fact that you're not following the rules, that's when the whole system breaks down. Because if we're not having the items that are tabled be actually published on the agenda, you can't then turn around and make a complaint that the tabled items aren't published on the agenda. Okay, it's like an alternate universe. So we need to actually do that. Now, this situation, I agree with Attorney Monteleschi. She's right in the regard that it should have been done, it wasn't done. It's a practice we need to get back into. Now, I will say this, we can, so we don't overload the agendas and sort of blow people's mind by some of the backlog of items, we're going to have to consider items that are put in committee versus items that are taken up and actually tabled. And this item actually was taken up and tabled, and it should have appeared on the next agenda. So the membership of the Finance Committee has no opportunity to actually take up a tabled item if it's not published on the agenda based on this. So what happened was this tabled item was brought up by Counselor Sullivan and sent out. Now, the easy fix here is we can change the committee recommendation from denied to just remove it from committee. That happens all the time. So this council always has the authority to take any item, it's in Robert's rules, 2/3 vote, mind you, to remove an item from committee. So that would, in order to satisfy Attorney Monteleschi's concerns, which are legitimate, and fixable, hopefully we'll fix it going forward, but in this case, we should just make a motion to remove it. There's no need to have, with all due respect, have Attorney Monteleschi come in and explain our own rules to us.
Kevin, is that the motion?
Yeah, that is the motion, is to change the committee report from denied to remove it from committee to the full council.
So
I think I seconded it already.
Okay, so the motion was made to remove from finance and give it leave to withdraw.
No,
finance first.
we need to get it up here before we can do anything.
2 votes, right? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the theme of the night. Be here all night. Okay, so a motion to take it out of finance.
Exactly.
And you seconded. All those in favor? Aye.
Roll call vote.
Okay, someone's requested a roll call vote. The clerk will call the
We need
roll.
3 members to request a roll call.
Okey doke.
I request a roll call vote.
There's 2 and there's 3.
Okay.
Devine,
No.
Givner,
I'm sorry.
To remove it from committee.
Instead of sending it back to finance?
Yes.
Yep. So we can.
No.
Oh, it's in front of us now.
No.
Graney,
Yes.
Jordan,
Yes.
McGrath Smith,
Yes.
Murphy Ramboletti,
Yes.
Ocasio,
Yes.
Israel Rivera,
Yes.
Jenny Rivera,
Yes.
Sullivan,
Yes.
Bacon,
Yes.
Anderson Burgos.
Yes.
Bartley,
Yes.
11 yeas, 2 nays.
Okay. So now that we've taken that out of the jacket, it's before us. Is there a motion?
Motion to be denied.
Second.
So motion has been made and seconded that the order is denied.
To pass, well, unless we're going to do, to deny and we have to do the first reading now.
Okay. Counselor Bartley.
Thanks. Yeah, I don't know why this has to go back to committee. We've had 2 executive sessions relative to this. This is for the public's aware, so we can't talk about executive session issues, but the public should be aware this is for claims and damages, and claims and damages is a fancy way of saying settling a lawsuit. So the reason so we've had plenty of discussion on this. We've had 2 executive sessions. It's already been through finance. Why in the world would we send it back to finance is unbeknownst to me. My problem with this is, look where the money's coming from, Madam President. It's coming out of stabilization. And this is for a departmental matter. So the department's not taking a hit on this, but the stabilization account does? And this is what's recommended to us? I just think that's flawed administration right there. This is a flawed vote, a flawed consideration. And just so I'm just making one more point, Madam President. We are not allowed in this body to amend any financial order, as the chair knows. So we have to get I'm not saying I oppose this, but I oppose this process coming to $300,000 instead of departmental problem that the departmental members caused. Now they want to take it out of stabilization? No, that's completely the antithesis of what the bond council would recommend. This is just poor governmental administration, and I strongly oppose it. Thank you.
Thank you. Counselor Sullivan and then Counselor Jordan. I thought you had your hand up. Counselor Jordan.
Yeah, I just want to explain why the denial. We're not allowed, there's under previous rulings that we're not allowed to give leave to withdraw on financial transfers. So it's either yes or no.
Okay.
And as I understand it, there's going to be another, for those that might be thinking about voting for this, I'm a long way from that point anyways. There's a number of things that would need to get put in place before I would cast a yes vote to approve this money. But we'll see if that happens. But I'm understanding that there's another proposal coming anyways that is going to reconfigure how the money is sliced and diced. So you should just be situationally aware of that. So this 300 proposal should not be needed now anyways.
Okay.
And apparently there's going to be some other filing coming down the road.
Okay.
Potentially.
Okay. Did you have your hand up? No. Okay. Great. So I'm not seeing any other discussion.
Adoption of the first reading of the recommended committee report, which is to deny.
So on the first motion, I love being up here. It's so fun. Okay. So on the motions to receive, deny the pass the first reading, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
No. I have a question.
Sure.
Could you, or perhaps Kevin Jordan could do it, could you explain what a yes vote is and then a no vote?
Sure.
So that people will understand how they're voting, if you
Yep.
could, please.
Yep. So the motion on the floor now, I will make, is to adopt the second reading of the council recommendation, because it's not the committee recommendation at this point, which is to deny. So a yes vote will be to turn down the 300. A yes vote would be to approve the 300.
No vote.
Wait, say that again.
So
Yes,
the
both times.
recommendation on the floor is that the 300 grand be denied. Okay.
Okay.
So a yes vote is to deny it.
Correct.
So a yes vote is to defeat it.
Just
Okay.
To stop, to not not spend the 300. A yes vote would be to pass it and spend the 300.
You said yes
Or
twice,
no
Kev.
vote.
Oh.
You said yes
You
twice,
just said
Kev.
the
Oh,
same
I'm
thing.
sorry. No, did I do that? Oh,
You did,
twice.
I apologize. Yes vote is to adopt the council recommendation that it be denied and defeat the 300. A no vote is to approve the 300.
Thank you.
Thank you.
about that.
So that's that was your motion to pass the second
Yes.
reading.
Mm-hmm.
The clerk will call the roll.
Devine,
No.
Givner,
No.
Graney,
Yes.
Jordan,
Yes.
McGrath Smith,
Yes.
Murphy Ramboletti,
Yes.
Ocasio,
Yes.
Israel Rivera,
Yes.
Jenny Rivera,
Yes.
Sullivan,
Yes.
Bacon,
Yes.
Anderson Burgos,
Yes.
Bartley.
Yes.
11 yeas, 2 nays.
So with that, you voted to deny the transfer request. Okay. Moving back to ordinance. We left off on
9. Item 9.
now. There we go. Great. Okay.
President's report.
Madam Chair, I would like to entertain a motion to take up items 9 and 10 as a package.
Can I do my president's report?
Oh, my
first?
bad.
No, it's okay.
You're right. I just been
It's
so
just
long
little
sitting here
me,
like,
just
yo,
looking
nah,
for
you
a
got that. My
president's
bad. I
report.
totally skipped that.
Nah, it's all right,
I think it's
but-
on reports of committees right now. I'm sorry.
I promise I'll keep it brief. Promise. Just a few things to note. So it's parade season, St. Patrick's Parade season, as you all know. And so Jeffrey has been sending emails about certain parade committee events that are happening. Specifically, we do need a head count for the Ambassador's Breakfast, which is always on the Sunday of the parade. So Sunday, March 17th, bright and early, 8 a.m. And then you can take a shuttle from Wyckoff to Kmart Plaza. So please do let Jeffrey know if you are planning to attend. Tickets are $25. And a reminder that the March 5th meeting has been rescheduled due to the presidential primary. So we will have a special meeting on Wednesday, March 6th. And over the weekend, there's been a lot of parade focused events, but over the weekend, several of us were at the Coronation Ball. Councilors Devine, Anderson Burgos, Councilor Izzy Rivera, myself, Jeffrey, of course. And congratulations to all the wonderful young women who are on the court. Elizabeth Gord was crowned the Grand Colleen. Yeah. Should be a good month, and we'll have the guests from the parade committee award winners in on March 6th. One last thing, the Taxpayers Association and the Holyoke Chamber of Commerce will be hosting their elected officials reception at Gary Rome on Thursday, April 11th from 4:30 to 7:30. That was mentioned at the Taxpayers Luncheon that several of us went to. Great time. And so I believe the chamber will be reaching out to you with an official invite, but just want to get that on everyone's calendar. And I think that's it from me. The last thing I'll say, tonight is the first night that we have our new rule of ending a meeting at 10 p.m.
Good luck.
And we spent the first hour, well, more than that, but an hour talking about one item. So I'm just going to remind folks that we need to do our very best to keep things brief and to, you don't need to repeat yourself. If you said it once, that's probably enough. And I am going to do my best to enforce these rules. And that may mean I'm going to make some more enemies, but that's okay. Not up here to be liked, apparently. And yeah, I want to remind everyone of that. And if we need to, we can have a running clock so everyone knows when it's been an hour. But That's just to throw that out there. Counselor Bartley.
Yeah, I just want to raise one thing, and I appreciate you bringing up the parade, Madam President. So this will be the 10th year we've had the our little thing in here that I started, and a couple other counselors helped me start it. This will be the first year, however, where we're not going to have the Caledonian Pipe Band with us. So I was pretty dejected about that. They're, of course, very busy band, and they were booked for they were good to go on the 5th, but they're booked for the 6th, so we appreciate them. Fortunately, yours truly secured another pipe band out of Manchester, Connecticut, and they're going to lead us in that night. And coincidentally, that same band has not marched in the St. Pat's Parade in, he said a lot of years, and he told me the number, I forgot it. But this year they're back. So it worked out kind of serendipitous in my opinion. So we've got the group out of Manchester coming to join us on the 6th, and they'll be marching in the parade. So
thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Who am I missing?
So on behalf of Councilor Sullivan and myself, we would like to take a moment of silence for the two families that we just lost on February 12th. The 65-year-old in Ward 3. And then also Friday, February 16th, we lost a 74. Both got hit by vehicles, and it bothers me and it hurts me because I knew both families and two elderly. Actually, the one in Ward 3 had just been in the hospital 3 weeks prior to that, had been in a coma for an aneurysm. He comes out fine from that, and boom, here comes someone just takes him out. So if we could just have a quick moment of silence.
Thank you, counselors. Anyone else? Okay. Now, I would love to continue. Yes.
Madam Chair, I'd like to entertain a motion to take up item 9 and 10 as a package.
Second. Motion has been made and seconded to take up item 9 and 10 as a package. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Did I hear something? Okay.
Madam Chair, I didn't sign the jacket, but you can sign my name to it.
Okay, and Counselor McGrath-Smith?
I have to sign mine.
Can we sign for you, Counselor McGrath-Smith, on the
Yes.
orders? Okay. So we have 9 and 10. Great. So item number 9 is the Committee on Ordinance, to whom was referred an order with community support, order that all ordinances and charter rules reflecting City Council and City Council Subcommittee meeting notices be updated to reflect acceptance of email as sufficient method of notice and city website posting as sufficient method of public notice. And item number 10 says, order that the Director of Office and Planning and Economic Development be authorized to provide a flexible work schedule for PSA members. Flexible work schedule will allow for evening meetings to be incorporated into the formal workday. A flexible schedule will still be required to fulfill the 35 hours a week requirement. All additional contractual and ordinances related to these positions will be adhered to. Both recommended that the orders have been complied with. Councilor Rivera.
Thank you. Both orders, item 9 was taken up at the committee. Both was taken up at the last committee meeting. But item 9 specifically was filed by Councilor Givner and Councilor Tallman back in October. The idea, I guess, was to pretty much have us go through going some of the council rules and the committees around notice for email and trying to see if we could make this a sufficient method of notice. We pretty much deemed it complied with, mostly because this is in conversation within another committee, which is Charter and Rules. We just took up the conversation, exchanged some ideas, and also referred it back. Pretty much sent it to the full council with a complied recommendation, just so that the Charter and Rules can actually hash it out and do the real work where you can. It was actually a copy that was sent to me, and I put it on the committee so that we could have the conversation, but the real work gets done in Charters and Rules that I found out last meeting. Item 10, give me 1 second. That one was filed by Counselor McGivern and Counselor Jordan back in February of 2023. And this one pretty much, I wish you were there, Counselor Jordan, because usually when we try to table it to make sure that other counselors were there, but because Kelly came in and she said that a lot of these things would come out of negotiations, so it kind of makes it difficult to kind of make one clear blanket rule. We decided to motion for it to be complied with, and if you wanted to make another order, you could file it with different language or whatnot. Yes. You have something to say, Counselor?
Yeah, Madam Chair.
Counselor
Wanted to
Burgos.
take up item number 14 out of order, if that was okay with you.
Well, can we get through?
We're still on.
Yeah. I just got two more left in the ordinance.
Oh, yeah.
But that 9 was done. I'm done with my report for 9 and 10 actually, but I still have a couple more left. But if you want to skip, I have no issues with that too.
Okay, so first let's 9 and 10. The motion has been made. They're complied with. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Okay. So now,
Madam President?
Yes.
And Counselor Juan Anderson Burgos, if you don't mind, if we could take up 13 and then 14. 13 is pretty quick. Okay? Thank you.
11 and 12?
can we just?
Yeah.
You want to just go?
If we're gonna do that, because mines are quick too, I could just keep going in order. Because mines are just 2 handicaps that I have to just approve.
Unless there's someone in.
Right. No, that's why I was gonna say, because I didn't want to cut him off. Yeah.
My
Thank you.
apologies. I was just trying to help the gentleman behind me.
No, I apologize. Mine will be quick. My apologies. So take up the orders 11 and 12 as a package.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? So moved. So, Counselor Rivera.
If you want. 11 is the Committee on Ordinance, to whom was referred on order per constituent request, order that the handicap placard be removed from 277 Walnut Street as resident Jane Pafford has removed. Recommended that the order be adopted. And 12 is the Committee on Ordinance, to whom was referred on order that the handicap sign located on the front of 184 Sergeant Street be removed. Recommended that the order be adopted.
Second.
So, give me 1 second. I don't got that language memorized yet, so I got to figure.
Doing great.
Motion to pass the first reading.
Second.
So the motion is to pass the first reading under discussion.
Motion to pass the second reading.
Oh,
We got to vote on the
hold on. Motion to pass the
Oh,
first
oh,
reading.
see,
All
my
those in
bad, my
favor?
bad.
Aye. Go ahead.
Motion to pass the second reading.
Second.
Motion is been made and seconded to pass the second reading. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion that the passage be ordained.
Second.
Motions that the passage be ordained. The clerk will call the roll. If you vote yes, you are voting to adopt the 2 removals of handicap signs.
Divine.
Yes.
Givner.
Yes.
Rainey.
Yes.
Jordan.
Yes.
McGrath Smith.
Yes.
Murphy Ramboletti.
Yes.
Ocasio.
Yes.
Israel Rivera.
Yes.
Jenny Rivera.
Yes.
Sullivan.
Yes.
Bacon.
Yes.
Anderson Burgos.
Yes.
Bartley.
Yes.
All right.
Unanimous.
Thank you. With that, you've passed those 2. Now, moving on to, did you want to take?
If you don't mind,
Sure.
13. Take up item 13.
All right. The Committee on Finance, to whom, in order, the hereby City Council accepts the provisions of the 2024 Mass DEP Recycling Dividends Sustainable Materials Recovery Program, $9,100, no match, and authorizes the establishment of a fund or other method appropriate for the accounting of the receipts and expenditures associated with the administration of the grant.
Motion to pass the first reading.
Motion has been made to pass the first reading. Counselor Devine.
And just very quickly, there's a point system that is in effect, and the DPW, they receive 7 points, and of the value of each point is $1,300, and that's where the $9,100 came through, and the committee voted to adopt it 5-0.
Okay, any other counselors' comments? Okay, so the motion is to pass the first reading. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Any opposed? Great. And is there a motion to pass the second reading?
Motion to pass the second reading?
Motion to pass the second reading. The clerk will call the roll. If you're voting yes, you're voting in favor of accepting the $9,100 grant.
Divine.
Yes.
Givner.
Yes.
Graney.
Yes.
Jordan.
Yes.
McGrath Smith.
Yes.
Murphy Ramboletti.
Yes.
Ocasio.
Yes.
Israel Rivera.
Yes.
Jenny Rivera.
Yes.
Sullivan.
Yes.
Bacon.
Yes.
Anderson Burgos.
Yes.
Bartley.
Yes.
Unanimous vote.
With that, you've passed and accepted that grant. Moving forward. Item
Motion
14.
to take up item 14?
So motion to take up item 14, the Committee on Finance, to whom an order was referred, transfer of $90,861 as follows from firefighter to deputy fire chief, $65,588, overtime $8,307, vacation personal day buyback $4,506, and sick leave buyback $12,460. The motion's been made to receive, adopt, and pass the first reading. Councilor Devine?
Yep, this was the deputy chief's contract collective bargaining agreement, and it is for 3 years, and what they've done is enable the deputy chiefs to be more active in a rescue. So if you're seeing police officers in one location because there's a crime being committed, now the firefighters will move closer to that that area so that they'll be available quicker. And Councilor Jordan was right to point out that they need to, I believe it's called redline, the new things that are in their contract. And just grab my notes here. They, a few things that they did, the personal liability of employees, before it used to say that the fire chief would assign an employee on, injured on duty after 30 days, but now they've lowered it to 14 days to light duty. They've also added Juneteenth to their contract. They're going to redline anything in the future, and they'll be called back for overtime sooner than the 30 minutes that they were. So that's also a benefit to the city. And it's the out of pay grade. They actually had a 60-day work days or more, and that's very, I don't even know if the chief ever knew that that had happened before. So it's now less than 60 days. And the committee voted 5-0 on that.
Thank you, Councilor. Any other comments or questions from the council? Okay, so the motion is to pass the first reading. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
And motion to pass the second reading?
Motion to pass the second reading. The clerk will call the roll.
Divine.
Yes.
Givner.
Yes.
Graney.
Yes.
Jordan.
Yes.
McGrath Smith.
Yes.
Murphy Ramboletti.
Yes.
Ocasio.
Yes.
Israel Rivera.
Yes.
Jenny Rivera.
Yes.
Sullivan.
Yes.
Bacon.
Yes.
Anderson Burgos.
Yes.
Bartley.
Yes.
Unanimous vote.
With that, you have accepted that financial transfer. Thank you.
And a motion to take up item 15?
Second.
So all those in favor? The Committee on Finance, to whom was referred an order that the City Council hereby accept the provision of the fiscal year 2024 Shannon Community Safety Initiative, CSI, $576,814.28, 25% match paid by subrecipients, and authorizes the establishment of a fund or other method appropriate for the accounting of the receipts and expenditures associated with the grant.
Pass the first reading?
That was the motion to pass the first reading. Counselor Devine.
Yeah, this is a multifaceted Shannon grant that's been around for some time, and some of the people or clubs that are involved in this: Chicopee Boys Club, Chicopee Police Department, the Holyoke Police Department, the Holyoke Boys and Girls Club. The Holyoke Boys and Girls Club runs an after-school program in 4 Holyoke Housing Authority sites and a teen program, after-school program and mentoring, education and career development. Palante will also implement a drop-in for youth to relax, connect, eat, get on-site individual therapy, and near-peer counseling. This is not a pact. This is they do community outreach, and I believe on the 28th of this month at 5 o'clock on 220 Linden Street, they'll be having an open house. So I would ask people to make sure they go to that. Also involved is Holyoke Community College. They have an on-site education and career development. The Hampden County Sheriff's Department, they'll run a youth athletic league for an at-risk and high-risk youth in Holyoke, serving about 300 youths. Then Mass Hire will also be involved in the youth program, and the Center for Resilience and Opportunities Academy will provide clinical trauma-based programming to teens, and that was approved by the Finance Committee 5-0.
Thank you, Counselor. So the motion is, sorry, my bad. Counselor
Just a
Greeny.
quick question,
Yeah.
please, through the chair to Counselor Devine. The method of accounting of receipts and expenditures, could you give us an example of what kind of method that would be?
You're talking about the original order?
Yeah, it says that we accept this grant, but there would be a method of accounting of the receipts and expenditures. But it doesn't explain what the method would be.
It's on every transfer usually, and every grant, and the auditor, her department should take care of that. I'm not sure if there's any other departments, but the auditor takes care of the expenditures and administration.
Okay, thank you.
Counselor Rivera.
Yeah, thank you. Chair Devine did a great job explaining and reiterating what went down in the meeting. So I think one of the things I wanted to point out for me is I'm very familiar with the program. It's been around for at least 10 years, maybe a little more. This is originally out of a grant proposal that came out of a DeVoe Patrick initiative back in the days when he was the governor. So ideally for me, this is great. It's all great stuff. It's just 10 years into it, I had the same questions I had for the representatives that came forward, which were from the police department and from the Boys and Girls Club. Although there are a variety of different partners involved within the grant, for me was what does the data look like? What are the numbers? What is the impact? What are the goals? Where are we? Like, what are we measuring? And what's going to be presented moving forward? I'm totally for these grants. Just want to see how it's impacting our community in real numbers, and it allows for us to kind of like project out there the narrative of what is actually happening with the dollars that are being spent within our communities. According to, I believe it was Eileen, she said that the state partners with UMass that actually can provide some of this data. So I believe I'll be filing an order for the next time for them to come in with UMass and try to provide some insight over the last 5 to 6 years, if it's possible. Thank you again.
Thank you for the explanation that you did on the Palante program, and that was very helpful.
Anyone else? Okay, so the motion was to pass the first reading. Right? That's where we were. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Motion to pass the second reading.
Motion to pass the second reading. The clerk will call the roll.
Devine,
Yes.
Givner,
Yes.
Graney,
Yes.
Jordan,
Yes.
McGrath Smith,
Yes.
Murphy Ramboletti,
Yes.
Ocasio,
Yes.
Israel Rivera,
Yes.
Jenny Rivera,
Yes.
Sullivan,
Yes.
Bacon,
Yes.
Anderson Burgos,
Yes.
Bartley.
Yes.
Unanimous vote.
Great. With that, you have accepted the grant. We already did 16, so we are moving on to motions, orders, and resolutions. Please don't debate things tonight if we don't need to. We're doing so good, everyone. I have full faith in us. So, item 17, filed by Councilors Jordan and Bacon, ordered amend Rule 6E by adding the following: that no member of the city council shall make references to or about another member, but in respectful terms, whether inside or outside the city council chambers, including on social media.
Charter and rules.
The charter and rules.
Send to Charter and Rules. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Item 18, filed by Councilor Jordan, that the city's ethics ordinance 2-69 be amended as follows. A, that the city government shall create and maintain an ethics and compliance hotline for the city of Holyoke, overseen by a professional, reliable, and independent hotline service provider for the purpose of eliminating waste, fraud, and abuse in our city government. The program shall foster a strong, quote, see something, say something culture in Holyoke government. B, the city shall take extensive efforts to spread awareness of the hotline for use by everyone, including but not limited to employees, managers, vendors, elected officials, regulators, and the general public. C, it shall also provide various options for communicating information. D, we shall ensure confidentiality and anonymity and protection from retaliation. E, the ordinance and the hotline vendor itself shall establish clear-cut message handling and investigative procedures. F, it is recommended that the personnel director and city auditor shall be the city officials in charge of working with the hotline vendor to manage the hotline for all messages, incidents, or complaints related to all city operations and departments, except the school department. School department messages, incidents, or complaints shall be managed by the superintendent of schools or their designee. G, the hotline vendor shall produce an annual report every January of messages, incidents, or complaints of the prior calendar year to provide a statistical analysis by department in a way that reasonably balances confidentiality and the public's right to know. This annual report shall be published and provided to the city council, mayor, and published on the city website for public review. And H, the city council may from time to time hold meetings with the hotline vendor and or key city officials to review data and overall improve the efficiency and effectiveness of the program.
Motion to receive and refer to ordinance.
Second. To ordinance. All those in favor? Aye.
Madam Chair, I should have said abbreviated reading. I really.
I was not directed by the body, but.
Yeah, I really wish the maker of the order said that, but.
It's all right, guys.
Oh, dear Lord.
Totally fine.
Oh, dear Lord. And then if I could, just under, I've gotten a trance. I just want to add my name to number 17, please, if you would just do that. Sure. Thank you.
Okay, item 19, filed by Councilors Jordan and Bacon, ordered add a new rule 6G, that no member shall make any external statements, social media posts, or texts regarding city council business during any meeting of the city council or its committees in the spirit of the open meeting law.
Charter and rules.
Refer to Charter and Rules.
All those in that too as well. Thank you.
Okay. Refer to Charter and Rules. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Can we take 20 and 21 together, the package, abbreviated reading, and send them both to ordinance?
For a second.
Okay.
No, it's not okay, because I'd like 20 to be adopted, please. And 21, yeah, 20, I'm looking for 20 and 21 to be adopted, Dave.
All right.
Okay.
They're already ordinances, it's just, well, I'll wait till they're read.
Okay. Item 20 is ordered, introduced by Councilor Jordan, ordered that the treasurer, pursuant to Ordinance 2-106, please provide the city council with a report of all the bonds currently in existence in the city for city officers, including his own. Please provide the name of individual, title, amount, name of surety company, and annual premium cost to the city.
I was going to ask that this be receive, adopt, and refer to copy to finance so that we can receive the report from the treasurer. So I'd like to receive, adopt, refer to the treasurer. There's an ordinance that already
Second.
requires this information. It's just we haven't gotten this in a long time.
Okay, so receive, adopt, and send to the treasurer
Yes, with a copy to finance.
with a copy to
So
finance.
hopefully he'll give us a report.
Okay.
Are we talking about both orders?
No, just 20. 21, something different.
Okay. Counselor, Finn?
So you just want this sent to the treasurer
Yep.
and given to each one of us?
Hopefully, yeah. He'll give
Right.
us he should give us a list of every employee that has a bond.
Right. And I guess my question is, how come it's going to be a copy to finance?
Maybe we want to have a discussion or review the list or.
Okay.
Okay.
And if if we don't need it, we can just call it complied with.
I'll just wait till you let me know.
Sure.
How's that?
You see me at every finance.
Okay.
Love it. Great. All right. So, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Item 21 is filed by Counselor Jordan, ordered that the mayor, administrative assistant to the city council, tax collector, and treasurer please review ordinance 82-3A and please make sure it is being complied with relative to all future appointments that come before the city council, that a copy of this order be sent to all named in this order.
Receive, adopt, refer to the mayor, the administrative assistant to the council, the tax collector, and the treasurer.
I just have a question before that. My question is in regarding to the administrative assistant and enforcing an ordinance. I don't think it's within his capacity to enforce an ordinance. I want to make sure that that's
Sure.
stated.
No, it's a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah. May I answer, Madam President?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, thank you. So, no, thank you for the question. It's just, Jeff, we're lucky to have him. He facilitates sort of all things information. Just to refresh your memory what this ordinance says, we have appointees coming into this council. We have an ordinance that says the council will receive a report that everybody's fees, taxes, all this stuff that are appointees for city positions are paid up and current. And so I've noticed, and perhaps you've noticed, have you seen any of these reports that says, I appoint Joe Smith to X position? There's never a report that says this person, all their fees and taxes and all this stuff is current. We have an ordinance that says that, and it hasn't been being enforced. So I'm just hoping that really it's on the mayor, the tax collector, and the treasurer. They're the ones named. But I was hoping Jeff would say, hey, you sent all these people to us, and I don't have the report for these people. Friendly reminder that these people are coming on the agenda, and you haven't sent us the report. So it's more than just people applying for special permits that are supposed to have this. It's all appointees. So at least this way, if you go to reappoint or nominate and somebody's got a $5,000 property tax bill they haven't paid, you might want to be aware of that. And that's why that law exists.
Does
Right. Yeah, but so we're having the administrative assistant enforce an ordinance, which I don't.
He's reminding them that you didn't do it, right? Like the paper, because you do the paperwork check, right?
Yeah.
Just checking somebody else's work.
Correct. They're the ones that actually, under the ordinance, are required to give the info to the clerk and put it all on the agenda with their nomination. But we need someone, if they forget, to say, friendly reminder.
Checkbox, kind of.
Exactly.
Okay. I just want to make sure he doesn't find himself against the wall and caught in a bind.
Well, he should be reminding these folks.
Okay.
The council needs this information, and he's sort of our eyes and ears during the day here,
Okay.
Hopefully that makes sense to Jeff.
Councilor Rivera, did you just have your hand up?
I just for me is like I wasn't aware that we did like a whole credit check for people that are gonna serve on a committee or what's it called? Be appointed in a sense. So like if we create like a homeless coalition type thing, so that I guess for me it's like I'm trying to understand that we actually had a law around that.
82-3A isn't a quote unquote credit check. We're not running to see if you've got a 600 credit rating. You can not pay your credit card bills, but you do have to pay.
You're speaking specifically on one, again, splitting hairs again.
Guys, one at a time. I know we can do it.
This
Keep going.
ordinance.
Let's keep
only-
going. I'm done.
This, just to answer the question,
Guys,
I'm just explaining, okay, forget it. Open a book and read the ordinance. That'll
Okay.
be my answer. Have a nice.
so your motion was to send a copy to the mayor, to the treasurer, administrative assistant, and tax collector, and that was it, right? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Continuing ahead. Sorry. No, it's okay. It's all right. We're doing good, guys. We got this. All right. Item 22.
Well, we can definitely take 22.
Yes, please.
24 and 26 and 27 as a package, I hope.
22.
Skip them all, receive, adopt, and refer them all to DPW. I hope so. All right, there you go. Carmen, that's how you do it.
So there was a motion made and seconded to
got you,
take
Carmen.
items 22, 24, 26, and 27 and send them as a package to DPW. I'm going to read them into the record. These are filed by Councilor Ocasio. Ordered that DPW or whoever is responsible do a street sweep and sidewalk cleanup all over South Holyoke. Item 24, ordered that the DPW pave the hole in the alleys due to safety for residents and specifically handicap on their way out the back.
Is there an address there, Carmen?
Yeah, some of them, majority of them only have the ramp to go out only through the back.
I'm only asking through the chair if you
Sure.
want to amend it so they'd have a location for a DPW. That's all,
Okay.
if you know it.
Yeah, I give them the information. I got it at home.
Perfect. So then that was 24. Item 26 is ordered that the DPW go back and clean up where they cut the branches on the corner of East and Sargent Street. And 27 is ordered that DPW follow up on signs on sidewalks that people have to get by with wheelchairs, electric scooters, and parents with strollers. And Carmen, we chatted, you mentioned the intersection between Cabot and South Summer. Is that correct?
Right in the corner, yeah.
Okay. All right. So we'll add that. Take a note. But so send to DPW. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion to receive, adopt, and send to DPW.
That's it.
Madam President?
Yes,
Sorry to
Councilor
bring this
Devine,
up.
no problem.
Just got a message that if we could do a moment of silence for Eileen Minkley. I'm not sure if everybody knows her, but her husband, Ed Minkley, was a postal letter carrier for a long time, and she worked for the, I believe it's the...
RMV.
Thank you, David. So if we could have a moment of silence, please.
Moment of silence.
Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. All right. Now we have item 23. Filed by Counselor Ocasio, ordered whose responsibility to get names to remove handicap sign when individuals no longer live there. Where would you like this sent to?
Ordinance.
Ordinance. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Item 25, ordered that, filed by Councilor Ocasio, ordered that someone who is in charge of the school buses to come in and explain to parents why kids are not getting buses and if they are ever going to get them. Joint schools
Joint committee.
or
Yep.
joint committee? Totally up to you.
To be honest with you, I don't know. I'm just filing this in, and I'm sorry that I just did it like that because I
No,
was.
it's-
No, you got this. You're good.
Sorry.
well, okay.
Joint committee.
Great.
Ready then.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Okay, item 28 is filed by Counselor Sullivan. Ordered that the vacant building fee be adjusted to take into account the size, square footage of the building. Currently, a flat fee is assessed, which is not reflective of the burden to the city and its taxpayers. Ordinance? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Item 29, filed by Counselor Bacon, ordered that the law department provide the total amount spent to date and status defending the planning board in response to the lawsuit filed by the log cabin.
Receive, adopt, and send to the law department with a request for it to be provided by the next meeting, please.
Motion to receive, adopt with a request to the law department to provide this information by the next meeting. All those are under discussion.
Yeah, just please add my name to that. This is an order I filed, and Councilor Bacon joined me last, whenever it was. And this pertains to the lawsuit that was caused by the votes of the planning board, which I just because we hear about votes all the time, that was actually a 3-2 vote in favor of it, but you needed to have 4 votes. And so consequently, a lawsuit was filed by the group supporting the development at the log cabin. So the lawsuit was caused by the minority of the planning board members who had the authority to take the vote they took, but there's a consequence to a vote, and the vote is now costing the tens of thousands of dollars in outside legal fees. For whatever reason, our law department is not defending it, but they've sent it to outside counsel. So this is a kind of a report. So I just want to make sure that we have a running total provided in the report, because that was not provided last time, and I knew this would come up again. So I just want to, whether that has to be a friendly amendment or not, but I just want to clear in the order that the law department provides us a running total, a total summation of what has been paid as of the date they remit the statement to us, okay?
Okay, order seems pretty clear. And you're added to it. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Item 30, filed by Counselor Bacon, ordered that DPW purchase 6 to 10 of the rubber portable speed bumps and put them in trouble spots temporarily around the city and move them randomly. DPW and or city engineer will decide safe placement.
So this is, I think, a little more complicated than it appears, because I think we might need an ordinance to support it, and then we would need an appropriation to buy them.
Sent to ordinance.
So I think it should probably start in ordinance.
Yep.
Okay. So send to ordinance. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Item 31, filed by Counselor Bacon, ordered that the city solicitor provide an update to the city council on the status of the 11 Yale lawsuit and if pilot payments are being made by the program located there.
So receive, adopt, and send to our law department. And I just want to explain that I understand that the city was not a party to the lawsuit, but we were asked at the time to hold up on consideration of an ordinance change because of the lawsuit. So then I lost track of whatever happened with it. So,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So all those, yes, I'm sorry.
I would also point out there's supposed to be a pilot agreement that's out floating around, and we may want to add the tax collector as well as the law department, Linda, maybe perhaps.
Oh, okay. No, that's fine.
She
But
should give a
happy to
report if the
collect it.
payments are actually being received.
Okay, so motion to send to the law department with a copy to the tax collector.
Sure.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Item 32, filed by Counselor Bartley, ordered that the city council approve an amendment to a home rule petition for the purpose of expanding the Center City liquor license area to DGR.
Yep.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Item 33, filed by Counselor Devine, ordered that the law department give an opinion as to the following. 1, can a table order be taken up through a subcommittee of the city council? Or 2, must it be legally taken up at the regular city council meeting? If possible, can an opinion be given prior to the next city council
Give a
meeting?
motion, leave to withdraw, since we've already gotten the letter from
Okay.
the attorney.
Motion, leave to withdraw.
Second.
All those, that's been seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Item 34, filed by Counselor Devine, ordered that the Law Department and Secretary of State render an opinion if the following ballot question can be placed on the November 2024 ballot. Shall the City of Holyoke make no changes to the current Community Preservation Act, CPA, as established in accordance with the provisions of Mass General laws?
Be received and sent to the Law Department.
Receive, send to the Law Department. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Item 35, filed by Counselor Devine. Actually, do you want 35, 36?
Want to package them?
Want to package them up, Patty?
Yeah, as long as they're red.
Okay, perfect. So 35, 36, 37, and 38.
Motion to take up 35, 36, 37, 38 as a package.
Second. Refer to finance.
And an abbreviated reading?
All those in, oh, let me read them first. Sorry. Okay, item 35 is ordered that we accept the Massachusetts Department of Fire Services fiscal year 24 firefighter equipment grant, $17,245.53, no match. 36 is the city accepted grant, Mass Department of Agricultural Resources, ARPA spending bill earmark, $90,000. 37 is ordered that we accept a grant, Mass State Police, Project Safe Neighborhoods, $40,000, no match. And item 38 is transfer for from patrolman. It's a transfer for $95,800 for patrolman to motor vehicles, buildings, data maintenance, printing supplies, fuel supplies, and legal defense, $95,800. Receive and send to finance. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Okay, now I've got item 39.
I see your thing. I don't know where my page is.
Okay. So this is introduced by Counselor Devine, ordered that there be a transfer for $39,706.65 from sergeants and patrolmen to injured on duty for payroll of February 3rd, 2024. And just before I hand it over to Counselor Devine, that represents 15 injured on duty is what my notes
Suspend the
say.
necessary rules and approve the transfer. Thank you.
So motion to
That's the injured on
suspend the
duty.
rules and take action tonight to approve the transfer. Is there a second?
Second.
Under discussion? Okay. That was the first reading, right?
Motion to pass the second reading.
Wait, so motion's passed the first reading. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? And then motion to pass the second reading. The clerk will call the roll. If you vote yes, you are voting to approve the transfer.
Devine,
Yes.
Givner,
Yes.
Graney,
Yes.
Jordan,
Yes.
McGrath Smith,
Yes.
Murphy Ramboletti,
Yes.
Ocasio,
Yes.
Israel Rivera,
Yes.
Jenny Rivera,
Yes.
Sullivan,
Yes.
Bacon,
Yes.
Anderson Burgos,
Yes.
Bartley.
Yes.
Unanimous vote.
With that, you have passed. We have a couple late files, and then we're almost done. We did do late file A already. Late file B is filed by Counselor Bartley and Counselor Jordan. Ordered that DPW replace the missing street sign at Ivy Street.
Madam President,
Yeah.
can you please add me to late file B?
Please add Counselor Anderson Burgos. I'd like to suspend the rules, take up final action on this item.
Second.
And secondly, just to grammatical, to change street to avenue.
Oh.
And that we adopt it and send it to the DPW. Their street sign needs to get replaced.
Okay, so motion has been made and seconded to change to Avenue.
Yep.
And we're going to add Anderson Burgos and send to DPW
Yes.
to replace. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Late file C is from Alicia Zoller from Community Development regarding the 2024 Community Development Block Grant applications.
C, refer to DGR.
Refer to DGR. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? So moved. And last, oh, just kidding. Late file D, filed by Councilor Devine, ordered that the City Council consider approving the purchase by the City of 225 High Street by a consensual order of taking. This order is a companion order to a previous order requesting a transfer in fiscal 24 of $850,000 from several accounts to capital outlay school buildings.
Be received and sent to finance.
Second.
Motion to receive and sent to finance. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? So moved. And late file E, introduced by Councilor Linda Bacon, that our ordinance that requires sinks in certain establishments, such as tattoo parlors, etc., be connected to city water, be modified to allow for portable sinks as an option. Refer to ordinance.
Yes, please.
This was requested by Tattoo Parlor at the Holyoke Mall, John Ireland. Okay. So send to ordinance. All those
Came to me real late.
no problem. Love it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Motion to adjourn.
Where is it? Let's see.
Second. All those in favor? Aye. Thanks, everyone.
Story, huh?
9:34.